So I thought I would share my process for creating embellishments. It's not really a tutorial, it's kind of a craft with me, but it's really me showing you the process I go through. I'll talk a little bit about who are my biggest influencers in terms of who I follow, subscribe to YouTube. I have watched hundreds of YouTube channels, and so a lot of people have inspired me along the way. This is going to be a mixture of stuff that I will create from scratch. Other stuff are printable kits that you can just print out, cut and use as they are. So a little bit of a mixture. So I'm going to start with showing you a kind of selection of pockets and tucks that I'm going to make. These are all out of vintage book pages and different bits of ephemera, printables, etc. But the main base are vintage book pages. These are all books I've either bought or collected, or people have sent me some vintage book pages as well, which is great, from pen pals. So this one is great because it's already kind of, this is the page already folded, so that already makes a great pocket. You just need to stitch the edges. So I'm going to stitch most of these. This, I believe this was a Nik the Booksmith printable. That I'm going to stitch on the front of that. Then we've got another one, which is, I don't know where this illustration came from, but that is going to go on the front of that. Again, that is going to be a pocket. Another one, Nik the Booksmith, I believe. Again, pocket. This is a Graphics Fairy printout. It's a postcard, but it's printed onto just tea-dyed paper. So I'm going to actually stick that onto card, make it a little bit more stiffer as a pocket. That's going to be another pocket. Then I've got a series of tucks. Now my tucks, I don't recall who I saw, which tutorial, I'm sorry, whose it was, but this is my preferred way of making the corner tucks. So I get a square piece of paper, fold it in half. So that gives you a nice folded edge of your pocket. Plus it makes the pocket actually thicker and a bit more stiffer. Then you can embellish it with whatever you like. I've just chosen some scrap stock. These sorts of things are great for using all your scraps. So this is my corner, which I'm going to stitch this all the way through, and then the corner pocket will actually get glued into my journal. So I've done a few of these. Some are just tea-dyed scrap paper. Again, a square. They're all done like this, folded in half. I ink the edges and then put something on it, and I'll probably add a few more bits and pieces to these as well, just to embellish them a little more. So I've done a load of those. Oh, these lovely. These both little pieces are from a sheet of music that a pen pal sent me. She'd waxed it, I think she'd wrapped something in it. I loved it. It was really old bits of music sheet. So I've torn some bits out of that and I've used them. I'm going to use them to put on some of these corner tucks. That's another one. Then I've got some more pockets. So again, folded pages. Sorry about my cat in the background. I think he wants to go out. Some inked edges again. These are some of Tracie Fox's, one of her kits, which I'll show you in a second. Again, that's just a pocket. I've done loads of these little blank pockets, which obviously be ready for embellishing. This is a vintage gardening book, a German vintage gardening book, and I loved all the bits in there. So there's the pockets made out of a page, and then I've teared a bit more out, and that will go on the front. This, I believe, was just sent to me by one of my pen pals on tea-dyed paper, and I've teared that out, inked the edges, and that's going to go on the top. I'm probably going to sew this on. Again, this is another one, all book pages, and this one is again an old vintage German book page. This is a Tim Holtz fussy cut butterfly, some greaseproof paper, and I'm going to stitch that over the top so you can see the butterfly through, but you can't see all of it. So that's that. So there's the pockets. Then I've made some tags out of scrapbook papers, which I'll probably make a few more of these actually. Some giant ones, medium ones, some smaller ones. Oh, I want to show you a little trick. I know that a lot of people use templates to make the corners, and I've seen different versions of templates, but I kind of by mistake made this one. It's just a little bit of scrap card, and you can see it's got different corners cut off, but it's also got straight edges. So this gives me 3 different size corners basically. So for this one, if I wanted the big corner, I would take the big one. You line up the 2 straight edges and cut. You flip it over to the other side, line up the edges and cut. And there you get your even cut corners. Then for a smaller one, I would turn it over and I would use the smaller edge. Again, I would line up the straight edges and cut. Same, and then you flip it over again, line up the straight edges and cut. So that's a really neat little tool that I use a lot for my tags. There we go. Then we've got, these are pockets, and I will show you the tags as well, because this is all part of lovely Tracie Fox, one of her beautiful kits. She made 3 of these, I think. She made this one, which is more kind of butterflies, entomology type stuff. She's got another one which I think is floral, and then she had a blank one. I'm probably going to buy the blank one as well, because I think that gives me some room to do my own stuff as well. But it was a beautiful trifold tag, which kind of folded and had tucks and pockets in and everything. But of course you can do what you like with these things. I've made a few like that, but then for this one I printed them out onto, I kind of put some tea dye paper on the back, and I have cut them all up. So I've cut them made them separate tags. So now I have got what, 6 ready-made tags that I don't even need to embellish. I'll just make a hole in these, put a little bit of ribbon, or sorry silk, and a little eyelet, and that's the tags. 6 tags done. Hardly need to do anything. Great. All for making my life easier. These are again out of the same kit. These are pockets. This is a side pocket, and this is a tall pocket. In fact, I think one of the, yes, this tag fits in that pocket, so that's good. Again, these are all done. All I've done is obviously cut them out, folded, and I've just inked the edges a little bit more. So those are already 2 small pockets, which again I could embellish, but actually they're fine as they are. So those are some pockets. Then I've got some, again, these are some. This is a bit that I made earlier. This is a Nik the Booksmith tutorial. I think it was one of her free courses on Teachables. It's a great little kind of entomology. You can see the butterfly and it's like a clear plastic, which I think is, I got the plastic out of a clear plastic folder and just cut it up and made a load of those. Love those. These are again Graphic Fairy, I believe, downloads. They're all die cut envelopes. You just cut them out and put them together. So those will probably go into my next journal. What have we got? Oh, these. I just want to show you these. I love these. Again, a Graphics Fairy download. I do have the premium membership, which is not very expensive at all. It's like a few dollars a month or something. I downloaded a whole sheet of these vintage postcards, basically the back of vintage postcards with some of them are blank, some of them have illustrations or digi-stamping. Loved those, so I've cut a load of those out because I think those would look really nice either just as pockets on their own or mounted onto a pocket background. So I've cut loads of those because I think those would be great to use. What else? Oh yeah, and then I have also cut out lots of little text bits, quotes, little paragraphs. I think these are all from a Nik the Booksmith kit. She has some lovely quotes, so I love these. So I've excuse me, I've teared some, I've cut some, and I've inked the edges. So those are probably going to be used on some of my pockets as part of the embellishing. I just want to say before I move on to the next video, I've been influenced by so many people. Nik the Booksmith is probably my biggest inspiration. I've done a lot of her courses, especially the bookmaking ones. I've still got lots to do, just trying to save up for them. But she's been a great influence, and she does a lot of other little bits and pieces as well. Watch nearly all her videos, I think. Mrs. Cog is another one which I love to watch, especially for her journals. For embellishing and other little pieces, Tracie Fox is a great one. Wendy's Journal Adventure also. I've also watched some of, I think, Yvonne Preston and Rachel Tomlinson. All fairly popular channels, I think. So I watch a lot of those videos, and in fact I sometimes have them playing while I'm working, just for a little bit of background inspiration. So now I'm going to go away. I'm going to do a load of stitching. I won't bore you with all of that, but I'm going to go and do a load of stitching. I'm also going to gather together some of the stuff I want to use to embellish these things, and then I'll be back. Okay, hello, I'm back, and I have been doing loads of stitching, and I've been gathering little elements to decorate my pockets and tags. So I'm just going to put them all together now, and while I'm doing that I'll explain what I've done. So there's quite a few bits that I'm not going to show you. So I didn't show you the stitching, I haven't shown you the sort of inking the edges and things like that, because it just takes time and it's a bit boring. Assume you kind of know how to do all of that. There's lots of other tutorials about all of that stuff. So wow, where do I start? Okay, so I'll start with these two little tags here. So first of all, I took, you remember the little postcard, little nice cutout postcards that came as a printable from Graphics Fairy. I've stitched a few of those onto these smaller tags. One's zigzagged and one's just a sort of regular straight stitch. I didn't really want to put too much on these, so I've got a little, this is I think from a kit from Nik the Booksmith, and it's just a little button. Now, in terms of sticking these together, I tend to use several types of glue. I've got Fabri-Tac and Fabri-Fix, which is, I think, the standard glue most of us crafters use because of its longevity and everything. For things like this, I'll just use the Pritt Stick. Or sorry, it's not a Pritt Stick, it's a Yoo-hoo stick, which I find is a slightly better glue. And because it's kind of quite dry glue, it doesn't warp too much, a little bit. So I'm just going to stick that on the corner there. And then I have these lovely, these are Tim Holt word stickers. You get, I think it's about 250 odd of these stickers in a pack. I really like these. This one says, look on the bright side and practice kindness. So the words don't have to go together, but together they look quite nice on a tag. So I thought I'd put them kind of there. Now the wording is a little bit too kind of bright and white for me. So I use, where is it? I use Tim Holt Oxide. Okay, found it. Okay, so this is the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide in Antique Linen. I've had this ages, and I wasn't using it because I was just using the darker inks to, you know, ink the edges of things and distress them. I wasn't really using this. And then I kind of realized I could use it to do exactly what I'm about to do, is just take the whiteness off, whether it's paper or things like this. So I just take, and I just rub that over, and it just takes that little whiteness off without making it too dark, because some of the inks obviously are quite dark. So you can still see the ink, but it just takes the whiteness off. So now because these are stickers, I don't need glue. And I just like to have them going off the kind of edge of that. There, one there, and then the other one can go here, but I like to offset it a little bit, like that. Okay, so that's that one done. So I think I'll have a done pile over here. There we go. So this one I'm going to do, I don't really want to add anything other than these little Tim Holt wood things again. And again, I'm going to use Chew. I need to ink that, get that white, get rid of that white. There we go. So that's another one finished. Okay, so I think I showed you these earlier. So these, I'm not going to do anything. I really like that as it is. I don't think it needs anything done to that. And these as well, I'm going to leave these as they are. I'm not going to do anything to those. This tag, which is one of the same set, because there wasn't as much sort of detail already on it, I thought I'd put one of those little word art type things on it. And just to add a little bit of interest, I thought I'd add a little bit of, this is cheesecloth, which I've tea dyed as well. So what I'm going to use for this, I'm just going to put a strip of glue. This glue is actually Scotch all-purpose adhesive, and it's a solvent-based, quick dry. It's very like Fabrifix and Fabri-Tac, quite a bit cheaper, and it comes in these small tubes. So I'm going to put the length of this word glue onto here. And that's it. I frayed the edges. You can fray it a bit more if you want. Just fray the edge of the cheesecloth. Depends how much fraying you want. There we go. Make it stuck down, and that's it. That's done. I don't want to add any more to that. Sometimes you can go a little bit overboard with the embellishing. Sometimes it works, sometimes, you know, it kind of doesn't. So let's take another one of these small tags. This one, I stitched again a small cutout of one of those postcards, a tiny one. I've stitched it on the bottom there. These are parts of the kit. This is just a number, just a printed number, which is again inked around the edges, and I'm just going to add those two. For these, I'm going to go back to the Yoo-Hoo glue. Whenever I'm gluing fabric, I tend to like to use the stronger glues, so either the Fabri-Tac or that Scotch all-purpose one. But for paper stuff, the Yoo-Hoo is actually fine, and especially for small pieces like this. And that's done. Okay, next, this is one of the pockets. So what I've done here is I've folded over a flap, I've zigzagged stitched across, then I stitched the edges together to form the pocket. Sorry, before I did that, while it was still open, I stitched on this butterfly tea card from Tracie Fox kit, I think. I actually left the top open, so it actually becomes a sort of second pocket. Then I stitched to the sides of the pocket down here, along the sides here, so it's formed a nice little pocket there. Other than that, I think I'm just going to add a little word tag, insects, and that's done. The next one. Okay, so this was, if you remember, this was the German plant book, vintage book. So I ended up, first of all, before I closed the pocket, I zigzag stitched this bit onto the front of the pocket. So there's a zigzag stitch, you can see that there. And then I stitched the pocket closed, and now we've got the little pocket which we can stick in to our, either that way, probably too wide, it's probably going to go into my journal that way and be a sort of side tuck pocket. So what I wanted to do on this, again, it's quite busy already, but I just felt it needs something. I have a lot of these flowers, and I've used them quite a bit on these embellishments. I've got lots of these. I've got a whole bucket full and more, actually. I just seem to go through a stage where I was buying lots of those. So I thought I'd start using some of them. So with these, I'm going to use the stronger glue to attach these. So I'll go back to the Scotch one. What I also thought would be nice is I have these little pearl embellishments. I've got some diamante ones as well, and I think one of these would look really nice. And there we go, that's done. Okay, next one. This one again, I folded the top over, I zigzag stitched across that closed, then I stitched this butterfly T-card onto the front, then I closed the pocket and I stitched down the sides. Very, very simple. So for this one, I didn't really want to add too much more. I've got these little, again, little date label. I kind of think I want to put that there. So, and that one's done. This one is a tag. I kind of had a thought here that I was going to actually cut this in half and just stitch and just attach half of it to the card. And then I would just, this is just I'm just going to tuck in there because I've stitched another one of those postcards onto this tag. I kind of started putting it there, then I thought it was too much, and I thought I could just put some of it on, and then I'll just add a little word tab in here. Yep, I like that. And then we can just tuck that little ticket, Tim Holt ticket, in there. There we go. Maybe use that for something else. Okay, what do we have next? Okay, so we have one of the book page pockets again. For this one, I just literally folded it up and zigzagged the sides. I've got these couple of embellishments which I can just yoo-hoo those on. Again, ink all the edges. I like inking the edges, really makes it stand out. So there we go. Again, that's enough for that. This is one of the pockets that came with the Tracie Fox, sorry, kit. Inked around there. I like the little bit of, again, I'm just going to put that to one side and let that lace bit dry, and then I'm going to trim it. So let's move on to another one. So this one, again, I have stitched, before I closed the pocket, I stitched this piece of scrapbook paper. Essentially, I like the butterfly. As you see, there's a lot of butterflies in this collection of embellishments. So I zigzagged all the way around, but just 3 edges. So now we have a side pocket and we have a little top pocket as well. So I like that. Then I've got some, one of the word, torn word things, which I thought might do there. And then again, my little flower paper flowers, which I thought I would offset there. By the way, this on my desk, I use, it's really cheap. It's from IKEA. It comes on a massive roll. I'll just quickly show you. It comes on this massive kind of roll. You can see that. And it's for kids. That you put on a table and they paint on it and everything. But it's great because it covers and protects my desk. It's a nice, clean, not busy thing, and I can ink on it, I can glue on it, and then when I finish my session, I'll just tear it off, throw it away, because it's really cheap stuff. Okay, that's great. So that's another one finished. Okay, let's do another one. This one, if you remember, is the corner pocket. And this one, if you remember, had this nice little piece of music paper, which I really liked, especially the sort of wax. I don't mind if it goes off the edge, that's quite nice actually. So I am just going to stick that down. There we go, that one's done. Nice little corner pocket tuck. This one, if you remember, I said I was going to stitch the wax paper, which I used to use a lot of, not so much now. I've done it so you can see the butterfly through it. It's wonky, but that's fine. We are making junk journals after all. I didn't really want to add too much to this, so I did have, again from a Nik the Booksmith kit, this little label here, which I am just going to add. And that's all I want to do with that. I did actually think I could have left a side open, could have done that, but at the moment it's just got it's just a book page pocket. There we go. This was one of Tracie Fox's tags, if you remember, and I really didn't feel like I wanted to do much with this. So all I am going to do with it is just put a little label on the bottom with butterfly, which came as part of the kit actually. So I thought I'd do a little bit of layering in here. Yeah, and I think that's all that needs. Of course, I'm going to be punching holes in the top, putting a little bit of ribbon or something in there as well. Okay, this one I thought, again, I didn't really want to do much with this because it's beautiful already, as you can see. But I had these little words came with the kit, and there's a little bee up here and there's a little dragonfly up here. So I thought I would get a little bit of this sort of Hessian ribbon and put a bee tag up there, and down here, I don't want to cover that text up in it, and put the dragonfly here. And again, that is absolutely enough for that. Don't want to overdo it, and we'll put a punch in there. Okay, so we're getting through these now. Sorry if you're getting bored. You can fast forward if you don't want to watch them all. If you do, then keep watching. Okay, so for this one, it's kind of quite busy already. I've attached this like nicely printed out illustration. There's the pocket, so I stitched that on with a straight stitch, and then I zigzagged down the side just to mix it up a bit. And then I got one of these lovely word quotes, and I'm going to stick that on the corner there with the yoo-hoo. Okay, so that's great and finished. Similar again, this one, German vintage German book pages. All I did here was stitch down the sides, and I just did a line of stitching across the bottom as well. So for this, I thought I'd use one of these and one of this is the Tim Holtz sticker words. We'll put that on the right hand side, and I think just needs a bit more, so we'll put a couple of those flowers there as well. Maybe I'll put that up here, put that more down here, I think. Yeah. There we go. That's it. That's done. Okay, so this one, again, the pocket, I literally just stitched down the edge. For this, these were some little cutouts. I think these ones I did actually produce myself, because there were some similar stuff on Graphics. So it wasn't quite what I wanted for a project, so I did some myself in these little squares. I'm going to use one of those. I'm going to just put it off the edge of the pocket. I quite like this little label T, which I produced these for my herbal journal. So I'm just going to put that across there, and I think again in these couple of nice green flowers on the corner there. Yeah, let's do that. There we go, done. So as you can see, we're getting through these quite quickly. This one is another corner pocket. If you remember, I do a square and then I fold it over, and then we've got this nice folded edge. Then I have zigzag stitched a piece of scrapbook paper on the front. I'm going to, for this one, I've got these little tickets. I'm going to put one of these, maybe, okay, you can go over the edge here, but can't go over the, well, it could go over the edge there. That's going to go over the edge of the page. I just think it looks better like that, I think. And then I'm going to put a little flower on there. Okay, that's good. Done. This one, a really easy one here. I put again one of the little antique vintage postcards. It has a really nice little gentleman illustration. I didn't really think it needed much more, but I just felt I just wanted to put something like that on it. So I'm just going to put this number code on. There we go. And that's a corner tuck. Done. Let's have a look what we've got here. Okay, so here another corner tuck with, I've stitched on some, so it can map, a bit of scrap again. It's got a map on it. Here I thought I would put, I've got another one of these tickets. Again, we can put that over the edge, that's fine. A little bit of cheesecloth and a little butterfly, another butterfly. Like that. I think that's nice. Maybe put that slightly more of an angle. There we go. And that one. All done. This one, very, very simple. This is again a small corner tuck, and I'm just going to put flower, and I'll probably put one of the pearl. So that's done, that's stuck. Yep, great. And that's a really simple but nice one. Sorry, there's a few more. This one is again book page, left that quite simple. It's got the T card, again zigzagged, stitched that on before I closed the pocket, and just some straight stitching down the side. Again, I left the flowers that are die cut out of printed fabric, and I thought I'd just add these ones onto here, into the sort of corner, right hand corner there. Right, so that's stuck. Yep, that's another one done. So this, you remember this one? I'd let that dry. That's absolutely dry now. So I am just going to trim. There we go. I like that one. So that's another one done. Okay, I really promise there's only a few left. We really had a session on these today. Okay, so this one is remember I had a large cutout postcard. I just stitched it on the back of a piece of tea-dyed card. So that's stitched just right around the edge. I quite like to use one of these bigger text tabs, which I'm going to stick on there. There we go, and that one is finished. Let's go back to a tag. I've got a tag here. I liked the green. This is a kind of a browny colour tag that I cut and inked the edge. Then I stitched this green coloured postcard on here. Then I happened to find a green coloured ticket, so I thought that would be quite nice on there, and a little green flower, which I thought all went nicely. So let's stick all of these on. Okay, there are a few more left, but I fear that I've gone on rather long. So I'm just going to finish those up, and then I'll come back and show you all of it, all finished and ready for the journal. So there, thank you. Okay, so we're done now. We've finished our book page pockets, and we've done some tags and some corner tucks as well. So here's the finished pockets. We've done all of those. You saw me put all of those together. There's a nice collection of those, which probably are going to be enough for even 2 or 3 journals. So a great selection there. I finished off the tags, so that was the pocket. The tags I have punched and put a little ringlet in. Some of them are coloured, some of them are brass, and put a little bit of, some of them sari silk. Most of these got sari silk, and then some of them I've put a little bit of string and thread, sari silk. I love the sari silk and the tags. I like just to tie them on rather than threading through. These have the little Hessian jute rug, the twine, the jute twine, and I like to just tie a little bow rather than just tying them on. So those are those. All of those are finished. Some of them again with little bits of string instead. A couple of additional pockets, and then all of those, and then finally we did the corner pockets as well. So we've got a nice collection of those. So I hope this little video has been helpful, maybe given you some ideas. Certainly I've been inspired by lots of other people, as I said, on a lot of the techniques. Nothing really spectacularly new here at all, but just thought I'd show you my process and how I go about things. So thank you very much for watching.